Well, another UFO video dropped last night, and Ryan Grim personally insisted that we cover it this morning. The 2019 video shows unidentified flying objects that also appear to be glowing. They encounter a U.S. naval ship, the USS Omaha, off the coast of Southern California.
Filmmaker Jeremy Corbell released the video and has confirmed, along with the publication Mystery Wire, that the footage was taken by Navy personnel during the incident. In 2019, U.S. Navy warships were swarmed by UFOs. Over the past months, I've provided a large amount of cumulative and corroborate visual data to support this fact. What I'm providing today is video footage captured from the deck of the USS Omaha by the onboard Viper team.
Now, Corbell says he's confident that this is a legitimate, quote, mystery, and that's kind of an interesting way to phrase it. I think it's a good way to phrase it in light of that disappointing report that dropped last week, where they sort of categorized things in 5 different ways, one of which was other, which is essentially the mystery category that Corbell is just gesturing towards, and existed long before that report dropped, is that we knew there were certain ways these things could not be classified, and that's important because if you look at those 5 categories, as people did again long before the report dropped, you can rule out so much. You're essentially ruling out 4 other very obvious explanations in certain cases. You're saying, we're very confident this isn't a foreign adversary. We're very confident this isn't our own technology. We're confident that this isn't X, Y, and Z. So that just leaves the fact that we have this gigantic known unknown. We know that we don't know what it is, and that in and of itself is very telling. This is another example of that.
And what do we suspect about the leaks? Do we think that these are coming from leadership within the military, or are the personnel who are capturing these frustrated at the inability of leadership to satisfactorily address them, and so are leaking them to Jeremy?
That is a super important question because obviously it gets to whether this is like an information operation from military and the intelligence communities. It is a really important question. We saw 2 Navy videos leak over the course of like the last decade. Again, this was the Navy, and ultimately the military declassified them. I think that was last year, but time has no meaning in the pandemic era. It was sometime over the course of the past year they actually took the step of declassifying those videos. Now, there is a really important point to be raised here. I would guess these are not being leaked intentionally. I mean, I would guess that very confidently because I think we talked about this yesterday. The government has fought really tooth and nail to prevent these things coming out. We know that. They don't want more and more information. There may be some people inside that have, like Luis Elizondo is a good example of somebody who's now on the outside, was on the inside, and is talking about what he learned during his time in the inside. And the government, from all we can tell, doesn't want that happening. Right. They don't want that happening. And so maybe there are people on the inside now in high positions and in leadership that are leaking, but not because it's coming from a top-down order that they're being told to do it, but because they actually, want momentum in investigating.
Right. I think the difference now is there is this growing faction of people who want a serious investigation into this, whereas it used to be just a couple of service members or a colonel here or there. Now you have a kind of almost groundswell of support for a serious probe.
Right, and I think an important framework, or an important bit of context is that Marco Rubio has framed this, and others, of course, have framed this from a national security perspective, and that in Washington is a great way to rally momentum behind a cause and to say, listen, this is not fun and games when we don't know, and we know that we don't know. We know that we don't have an explanation for this. It's not fun and games anymore. We need to know what the technology is in order to either, what if China and Russia know what the technology is first and then weaponize it on a global scale? Or what if it is China and Russia? We don't know that we need to pursue these things. And so I think putting the national security framework on it also gives that momentum, and it's also probably why you have people formerly in the Pentagon talking about it more and more.
Grappling with China is enough. China allied with aliens?
Oh,
not looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's the combo. Well, we'll tell you what America is thinking next. Ryan is so excited to get off this topic, so stick around.
That was fun.